Welcome to the next edition of Missing the Point. I am Hollywood Rayshawn and with my guy, the road BK, Bob Kelly. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Another edition. I'm doing pretty. The Red Sox could be winning, but other than that,
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, for those that have been asking or hoping that we, finally talk about the Red Sox, I know that we have been mostly Celtics, Patriots. We've done some occasional Bruin shows. We've given some wrestling shows. So we even some UFC shows, right? We might have done some more UFC shows than talking about the Red Sox. But every time that we talk about the Red Sox, it's usually you and me. So I guess it's why not continue that trend? So
usually they haven't given us much to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But once again, content is content. So when it's like it's literally the dog days of summer and everything is all the other main sports are on hold. Why not get into whether it's good or bad, right? But thankfully right now they're good. So like I said, like you just said, they are down 3-0 currently as we record this on a Wednesday night. But they've been on a roll as of late. Overall, they're 50-40 on the season in the first 90 games. I saw a stat earlier on Twitter where it spoke about every time they've been 50-40 in this century, they've gone to the playoffs, and 3 of those times they've won the World Series. So 2004,
okay,
2013, and then 2018. So I'm like, wow. Well, I'm like 2018 seems working out. I feel like they were like light years ahead of everyone in 2018. So maybe it just meant they had a better record than 50-40. But I mean, once again, I'll take a playoff berth with this team because they currently are overachieving. But just from what you've seen, so far, just what, or maybe even who has been, the biggest surprise to you this far.
I mean, you got to say the whole team. There's candidates.
Mm-hmm.
David. What was it? David Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler O'Neill. Who's the guy that hits second?
Usually it's Ref Snyder, but it depends.
Ref Snyder's a candidate. There's plenty of guys that jump off the page that are the surprise. So I would have to say the whole team, right? At this point.
Yeah, I mean it definitely has been a collective effort, obviously.
Valdez, that's the guy.
Yeah, Valdez. Well, which I mean, well, speaking to him, I think that it's been good to see that he's had at least a serviceable season because the guy they got back into Chris Sale trade, Vaughn Grissom, has been hampered with injury. So, and it sucks because to see him not being able to produce, but see Chris Sale going ballistic down in Atlanta, it kind of adds salt to the wound, because obviously Chris Sale had a lot of great moments here, but obviously it was clear that he needed a fresh start. So I mean, I think that's
it was time to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
Time to go, and he's done really well in Atlanta. So, and although they expect the Braves to win, it's not the same pressure in Atlanta as it is here in Boston. So he's probably thriving in that new atmosphere. But far as just who's been the big surprise, yes, the team definitely has been, like I said, collectively has been a problem. I got to go with one of their 3 All-Stars, and that's Jarren Duran. I was out on him. I want to be clear. Some of you other Red Sox fans were too, so it's easy to say that you stuck on the bandwagon now, but that's a lie. A lot of you were out. You would just say he was just a lot of people calling him a Walmart Jacoby Ellsbury, right? But he is turning around. I think now he's in his age 27th season. He's starting to hit a little bit for power. He's driving in runs, and he's wreaking havoc on the base path. So it's been awesome to see what he's been able to add to this team. He is a difference maker. So what he does at the top of the lineup, not so many have. I think about guys like Billy Hamilton back in the day. I think about the Rafael Furcals of the world. Those are guys that Jose Reyes. Those are guys that dominated when we were younger. But yeah, Duran's been killing it, and I'm proud to see him take off. And I'm just hoping that they figure it out. The rest of the way, because like I said, when this team is hot, we could talk about the Celtics, we could talk about the Patriots, the Bruins. To me, this is a baseball town. When this team is number one, or not number one, but when this team is relevant, there's no harder ticket in town.
Agreed.
Yeah, you know,
I saw a stat today. Said Duran has he's the first American League player ever to have 100 hits, 10 triples, 10 home runs, and 20 stolen bases, all before the All-Star break.
crazy,
So
crazy.
it just shows you how all around of a player he really is, fam.
Right.
He's
Yeah, and
he
insane.
he's an All-Star, right? It was
Yep.
official.
It's yeah. So him, Devers, and Tanner Houck. Jensen should have made it. Like I said, when you're 17 to 18 and save opportunities and haven't given up a home run.
Yeah, his ERA is like 2 something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand that. So I that I didn't get, but I mean, I think that probably would have added more expectations if we had 4 or 5, because we could have had 4 or 5. I like the way some guys have been playing. Like you could have 4 or 5. Connor Wong, excuse me, Connor Wong to me deserved the spot too, but he didn't have enough, I think, games or appearances to be in the All-Star game. But he has been great behind the plate. You know,
And at the plate.
yeah, behind the plate and at the plate. Yeah, exactly. So I think if he qualified, I think he'd be top 2 or top 3 in batting average. So once again, it is a loss.
I think he's a good candidate for the surprise, man. Connor
Yeah.
Wong
Mhm.
couldn't hit the broadside of a barn last year.
Right, exactly. Yep. And I mean that's the thing though, is I feel like it's a lost art to hit 300 now. You know, remember we were kids. I just seen a
Happened all the
post.
time. All the time.
I just seen a post of like the '99 All-Star game, which was the last one that was here at Fenway, and you know Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Nomar, who hit 372. You know,
That'd be wild nowadays. If someone hit 372, that'd be right.
insane. You know, obviously, Todd Helton at the time in Colorado was hitting over 350. You know,
Larry Walker. Yeah, Larry
Yeah.
Walker was over there.
There was so many guys that, obviously Jeter, even A-Rod early in his career too, right? Pre at that point in quotation, pre.
And these are guys that by the end were hitting like 240 is like baseline now. It's like 240, 250. I'd say is average, what, 300.
And was pissed about that, right? Like that
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like, well, if you can hit 250 and hit 35 home runs, like that's great. Like it was frowned upon to hit 250. Like I said, now it's like if you can hit 250 and give us 35 to 40 home runs, like, they play the analytics game, which is annoying, but at the same time, if it works, then it works. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's that. But like I said, it's dope to see that they have three all-stars there. But I want to speak about the management. So Alex Cora, obviously, who's in the final year of his deal. He's been here since 2018. Obviously, they win the World Series his first year there. Missed the playoffs in 2019. He gets suspended for the 2020 year. Back in 2021, they go all the way to the ALCS, lose to Houston in 6 games, and then basically for a lack of talent, they don't do anything in 2022 or in 2023. So, just speak to the job you've seen him do this year. Do you think it's his best job thus far? And would you be at the table with him right now to get him signed?
If it's not his best, it's damn close.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean? If this wasn't his best job so far, oof, I don't know what is, man. Hang on, I get a cough.
I'm like,
yeah, man. I just when you look at the job that what was expected of the team coming in, and what the production has been, I mean, to be 10 games over 500 at this point in the season is a phenomenal job. I mean, if he might be coach of the year if the vote was today.
yeah. I mean, once again, think about, Baltimore came out the gate really hot. New York came out the gate swinging, right? And folks like, oh, like, this is our year, and obviously, and up there, they haven't won since 09, so it's like, for them, that's a long time. It's just like, which is wild to say, right? You think about fan bases that haven't won in 40 or 50 years, but they're saying 15 years like it's been 100. I promise you, it's not the curse. Once again, you guys have competed. You guys have been in ALCSs. You guys have been in, no, they haven't been back to the World Series since 09 as well. So they've come close, but they've missed their chances, losing to us a few times in that process. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that we took them out early in those matchups. But yeah, like I said, I love what I've seen from them. Like I said, they're playing aggressive. It's almost like they're playing in spite of management, right? I think that's been excuse me. I think that's been an ongoing thing. I think with
Cora's pleading. He's begging for it though.
yeah. I mean, but they're all big. Like Jessica came out and said something. I think Duran said something. Like they're like, "Yo, we're literally a piece or two away from going full throttle," as Sam Kennedy said in the offseason. We're gonna go full throttle, and then he retracted his statement. But it's like, yo, like you're a bat or two away. And once again, if that bat is Tristan Casas, cool, right? Because obviously left-handed bat, power bat, had a really good start to the season. He's been out obviously since early in the year. I think he's only played like 25 games. Obviously, Trevor Story's out for the year. It's sad to see with him because I feel like he's become Gordon Hayward 2.0 here. With Trevor Story, I just feel like he just can't get right at all.
Yep.
I think they move off of him in the offseason.
That was his problem coming in. So
right, but I'm like, this was, like I said, I think outside of that stretch he had his first year here in 2022, where I think it was like a stretch he had in May where he just went crazy in May. It's like you saw that glimpse of what he could be next to Xander, and then next thing you know, it was over. And it's just like, wow, that's like what happened, But it's just like, yeah, he has been able to stay healthy, and I said that's been a sad part because like I said, adding him here with Casas in that lineup would have been very good for them going forward. I don't think you make as many moves offensively if you have those two guys in there on an everyday basis, but Donovan Smith has been good. You mentioned David Hamilton earlier. He's been good in his stint. So yeah, like they have guys that have stepped up big times. Tyler O'Neill as well.
Tyler O'Neill's been awesome.
Yeah, he's been great. So just like I think we said this early in the year too. It was like when he started hitting some home runs early on, I was like, oh, it just feels like Hunter Renfroe when he was here a few years back. You get that flash in the pan from 1 year for a guy that can hit 30 home runs and maybe drive in 80 to 100 runs. So that's all you can ask for. And once again, this team needs that, because they're devoid of power and everything.
What, the second least home runs in the league, something like that? It's
somebody. Yeah, I know they have over 100 for the season so far, but it's just like they play National League ball like right now. Like it's moving advance. I mean, obviously, if you can get the 3-run home run, obviously, you look for that, you go for that. But for the most part, they play National League ball. It's like still a few bases. They're not sacrificing all the time, but it's like they put pressure on the defense to score. So they do that really well more times than not. And like I said, with Duran and Hamilton when he's in the lineup, Connor Wong who runs really well for a catcher, like everybody is super athletic at their position.
Yep.
They made it clear that you cannot play up here right now. If you're not a world-class athlete out there, you're not getting on the diamond here. And that's I'm okay with that. So it's all good. So, but like I said, I've enjoyed, like I said, to wrap it up, I've enjoyed his coaching this year. I also was mad at him last year as well, so I don't want to make it seem like I fully bent back on the bandwagon. But once again, if I'm a doggy, I got to give credit where it's due. And he's had a hell of a bounce back year from what we saw last year. And I'm hoping that this leads to a run for sure. But far as the signing goes, I know it takes two to tango, but John Henry, Sam Kennedy, y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta find
gotta make some moves. Yeah, something gotta happen.
Yeah, got. No, I'm saying you gotta. I'm saying it starts with the manager. Like you got to get. He's reignited that team with his leadership.
Yeah, you got to sign him to an extension.
You got to sign him to an extension. Got to get him here. So, but let's get right into that, right? Because we kind of just seeped into it. But ownership, right? Ownership has been the bane of our existence here as Red Sox fans, especially in recent memory. Yes, we have 4 in 20 years, but at the same time, the product has not been consistent the way that it could be or at times should be. So just in your in your opinion, just what do you think it will finally take for them to actually invest in this current team for the rest of the season and beyond?
I mean, all you can hope is that we just keep winning, and that eventually they have no choice. What do we have? 3 weeks, 2 weeks until the deadline.
Mm.
Uh, you just got to hope for the best for the rest of July and hope that it does enough, because they haven't done what we wanted them to the past 2 years, at least 2 years, since we made some significant, meaningful move at the deadline. I can't even think of the last one where, in years
Probably
past.
2018. I was saying we got Evaldi.
Yeah,
We
it's not
got
gonna. Evaldi's the last one I can really think of that jumps off the
Evaldi
page.
and actually Steve Pierce ended up being a really dope.
Steve Pierce, yeah, exactly though. Like even a small move like that, some help off the ends of the bench, a little pop to go along with the rest of this team, or like a middle reliever type guy, something to show that you have some investment in this team. That's all we're
Right.
looking for. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're not looking for much.
And it's like because listen, obviously Giolito's been out, Liam Hendricks obviously has been out. The bullpen has been awesome for majority of this year. You've got to add to the bullpen, not subtract. So not trading Jansen, not trading Weiser, like not and everything else. You've got to add to the bullpen. Excuse me. So even if that's a long reliever guy, if that's a middle reliever, whatever, like you've got to add to the bullpen. And then if you can find a starter or two, once again, we get it. Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, like those guys, we get it. They should be off limits if that's the case. If you want them to come up to the main roster, I get that. But Nick York, who was drafted a few years back, has been killing it, and I think in AA. Strike while the iron is hot. Once again, that him and Ron Grissom are the same age. So if you can keep Ron Grissom healthy, he's 23. He's also a project. Just keep him. Trade Nick York.
Right.
See, you can get a starter level pitcher from a team that's not really in it. So I don't know if you look at Detroit. I don't know if you look at someone out west. I don't know, but you've got to figure that out, because hell, maybe even with the world champs, right? Because the Texas Rangers are not as good as they once were. I would call and see is Evaldi available? Bring him back. Why not? Because that was a mistake from Chaim Bloom. It was a mistake to let him go a few years ago, and we've seen it last year in the postseason. We have not. I don't. And this is not hyperbole. I'm being serious when I say this. I don't know if we have seen three postseason pitchers better in our era than Nathan Evaldi.
He was amazing, dude.
He was amazing, but he was amazing in last year's postseason too. He turns into Josh Beckett in the postseason. It's unbelievable. His curveball, that 12-6 curveball, is shades of Barry Zito. So for those that are younger than us that don't know who Barry Zito was, go back and you can look at YouTube. He was part of one of the best pitching trios of all time. But man, I just I don't know. I just to me, you just got to figure that out. So got to get a pitcher, got to get a hitter. I don't have names. I don't know the list of who they should get, who they shouldn't get, but something's got to be done. So we'll see what they end up doing. But last but not least, before we get into some USA basketball, just what does a successful second half look like, in your opinion, for them?
Makes the playoffs, right? That's what they're on pace for right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
just keep it up, and hopefully we get to watch some playoff baseball. I think I'd be a little disappointed if we didn't at this point with the hot streak we've been on. It would take a downturn from here. So
yeah, I mean, let's say they, I don't know if they end up coming back tonight, or they're in the bottom of the sixth right now. And
they just hit a bomb.
home run. So now it's just, we're getting live updates here on Mr. The Point is now 3-1 Oakland. So comeback seasons among us. I mean, listen, how fun was that 2021 run for us? Like, I mean, obviously we know each other for almost 20 years, but I don't know if we've talked on the phone more than that 20. And once again, they didn't win the World Series, but I mean, we talked during the Tampa Bay series.
Yeah, that was dope.
I mean, the JD Martin. I mean, it was a thing of beauty to watch, and it was just like because it was like wow, like it was like okay, you let go of Mookie, you let go of, and it was just like watching. I watched those highlights from Kike Hernandez at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, I remember that. He was so good in that postseason.
It was unbelievable. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a performance like that. Like maybe Carlos Beltran in 04 with Houston. That was pretty special. But what Kike was doing in 2021, that was unreal. And once again, there's no better place to be in October than Lansdowne Street. And are we biased? Absolutely. But I'm saying, like, as someone who has been there for many games, you've been there for many games, everyone that participates on this show has been there for many games. There's nothing like October baseball, really, regardless of where you go. But once again, it's cold here. It's everyone's bundled up. Your beer might freeze up a little bit. Like you're ready to go. Like
it's the best environment there is.
Yeah, it's just like like I said, there's like
Celtics games
like,
rivals it, but not quite.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean that this final was pretty loud. Like the city was hungry for one, and we they delivered. So I can only imagine if the Red Sox get there in October and just win a series. Once again, if you get to the World Series, once again, Arizona won 84 games last year. Arizona went 84-78. I want to be clear.
Made it to the World Series, yeah, that's fact.
Went to the World Series. And so I think it took Texas to 7 games, so it is possible. And I would like to think maybe outside of like the Patrick Corbins or whoever's out there, like we have more talent than that team. Once again, I don't think I could have said that in April, but Rafaela has gotten better. Duran's gotten better. Obviously Devers has been really good this year again. So it's like there's a lot of guys that are stepping up that we didn't think was going to step up. And like I said, if you get Cassis back, you get a pitcher or two back, and you get somebody in the bullpen, like you're back in business. So yeah, I had a friend that said to me that they would go 90-72 in April. I said that he was on the finest leaf out there. I thought there was no way they go 90-72, but it's possible. It's possible.
They're on pace for about that.
Yeah, they're on pace for that. So Javier, my guy, my brother, hey, kudos to you for seeing the vision, because I did not. A lot of us didn't. But like I said, I would have been happy with 81-81. But like you said, once you exposed me to something cool, I'm like, I need to see more of it. So hopefully they do that. So that said, let's get into the Olympics. So seems to be some controversy around USA basketball. It feels like it's only with that, right? Like you don't hear about other. You might hear stuff with track and field. You might hear stuff with maybe some swimming stuff. We have with Michael Phelps back in the day, even with gymnastics with Simone Biles. But USA basketball always has some type of hidden agenda, drama, to it. So for those that didn't hear the news, if you're listening to us when this comes out, Kawhi Leonard, who in my opinion shouldn't have been on the team in the first place. I share every sentiment the same receiving they had. Once again, only from a health standpoint. As a player, the dude is a beast, but from a health standpoint, dude wasn't out there. But Derrick White, champion, Chip White, Chip White is what I'm calling him now. Chip White, replaces Kawhi on that team. So just what were your thoughts about that? And then just what was your reaction to that Jaylen Brown, emoji tweet with the Sherlock Holmes, Sherlock Holmes emoji?
So first of all, my first reaction is that's 3 Celtics on the national team, which is pretty dope. It shows why we won the championship. Makes sense. In either way, it would have been 3, even if they picked Jaylen, and that's by far the most out of anyone.
Right.
But second, it's not a big deal. That's just for show. That's just to get some eyeballs on it. I really don't think it's a big deal whatsoever. Unless you actually think that Nike conspiracy is true, then
Yeah, I mean,
say it's not.
So, okay, this is the thing, right? That was even my angle at first until I heard some people, because I'm part of another group chat on Instagram that was breaking down other stuff that had happened that I had completely forgot about. Like I remember the tweet, I forgot about the tweet that Jaylen Brown shared about like, oh, like when does Nike cared about ethics, right? But that was regarding Kyrie. And obviously, Kyrie was one of their bigger clients. He ends up leaving, or they just miss him. I should say he left. they let him go. um, for his views on certain things. So, and it's just like, man, he stood in solidarity with him in that moment. Once again, which was his right, because it's called freedom of speech, right? Freedom of choice. And apparently, I guess maybe it hasn't gone over too well with the powers that be. Now, is there validity to that? I don't know. Do I put it past? I don't put anything past anybody, especially at that level. I don't. I didn't think this was like an Isaiah Thomas scenario, right? Like I didn't think this is something where it's like LeBron and them was like, I'm not playing with Jaylen Brown. I don't think it was that. Because someone was like, well, maybe he's not playing with him because he doesn't rock with Nike. I'm like, well, if that's the case, Anthony Edwards shouldn't be on there either because
Right.
Anthony Edwards is just he today just signed, as we record on a Wednesday, today just signed a multi-year deal, a multi-million-dollar deal with Adidas. So I'm just like, that don't mean anything because he's going to be out there playing in Adidas. Like that's so I didn't think it was that, but when someone brought up the anti Nike and once again speaking his mind, it just gives you it goes back to what we heard Stephen A said. And once again, he didn't say it out of left field. People thought he did, but clearly he didn't. And now we know why. So once again, I want you to be right. I hope that it's not that big of a deal. And because I'm like, and shame on me for even thinking that it was beef with D White, because obviously it ain't about D White, it ain't about him. Of course he's happy for D White. It was like, oh, like Nike, y'all really going out y'all way to make sure I'm not on the team. I wish he had just said that initially, but I get it. They're a big time sponsor of the NBA. They own USA Basketball, so you kind of have to be cryptic with your tweets. Although LeBron James, some other big time uh, celebrities that do that, they write certain tweets to kind of give you an insight to what's going on, but not the whole peek behind the veil. So
There's
crazy.
people that say he was upset about the Tatum cover as well, which I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
I don't know if I agree with at all. I think that's
it's like that. That's a joke. And once again, and I'm like, I said this thing when it happened, but I'm like, yo, like to me, it was predetermined that he was going to get those awards. And it's just like, I got backlash for that when I said it, because it was like, oh, I don't, oh, you're hating and this and this. And it's like, no, I'm not hating. I'm saying, I just think as long JB just didn't have to mess it up, right? As long as he didn't mess it up, they was going to make sure that he got those awards because they were hell bent on giving him that assignment, right? Or that award, I should say. And I'm happy for him because he deserved it. He played his behind off, like he was great. So it's just like, so I was happy, for him. But no, I think that's a joke. That they're still trying to cause that rip. It's like, look, they're world champions. Like
that's it, dude.
it's over. It's
Just
over.
leave it be. Yeah, just leave it alone.
Haters stay mad. Stay mad that they won. And once again, like Tatum said, what they gonna say now, right? what they gonna say now? Where like Angel Reese say, hey, ring me, baby. Like I got the championship. So get right or get left. So
Are you pumped about this team though?
I am. I want to go a little bit further before we go down and kind of talk about what they're gonna do in the tournament. Because I had this debate with somebody earlier, so I want to bring it to the show.
Yeah.
So the person that brought it up to me thought that they felt like JB was hating against Derrick White for making the team and not him, and so we was going back and forth, and so we were just going down the list of like who could have been left off the team. So I brought up, I said once again in 2024, so not last year, not the year before, in 2024, you're not telling me that Jaylen Brown is not better than Devin Booker right now.
He is better than Booker for sure.
Right. I'll say it right now. Once again, there was moments where I'm like, I want to put him above Booker in years past. But I say at this current state, the way that he's evolved as a player, as a playmaker, as a scorer, as a defender, as a leader, because all that stuff matters. That's to me, I'm just like, to me, that'd have been a very obvious replacement for me. Same thing with Halliburton. Once again, and I love Tyrese Halliburton. I think Halliburton is a hell of a player. There's no way you're not justifying to me that Halliburton, Booker are better than JB right now. So your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. Halliburton, I understand why they put him on there because he's like the young and upcoming point guard. But Booker, to me, is the obvious person to leave off if it's not JB. You know, if you're putting JB on this roster, Booker's definitely the guy you're taking off.
So okay, how do you feel about KD being on there? Because I have a thought, but I want to know what do you think about?
I agree with putting the old timers on there. This is their last run on the U.S. team. You got to put KD, you got to put LeBron, you got to put AD, you got to put all these guys. You got to put Curry. You know what I mean? If they want to go out for the roster, we're gonna win. To me, we're gonna win regardless. So they're gonna put the team out there that's going to make them the most money, and that's going to be the biggest faces when they're, over. Where are the games this year?
In Paris.
Paris, when they're over in Paris. So that's the ultimate goal of this team.
So, I knew that we were going to have different viewpoints on this. So I'm with you with Bron and Curry. I am, because Curry has never been on a Olympic team, which is fucking insane. That's wild that he's not been on.
Curry hasn't been on a team?
Nope. Cause I'm thinking his first would have been 2012 because he got in the league in 2009. 2012 was the Redeem Team 2.0. So he wasn't on that. He wasn't on 2016. And then he wasn't in 2021 when they won in not Berlin. I don't know where they was at in 2021, but he wasn't on there. So this is his first time doing it. And so that I get, right. I think that he earned that experience. KD to me at this stage of his career. So I want folks to hear me clearly. So
right, wow, that's wild.
At this stage of his career, KD is just as injury prone as Kawhi Leonard. Once again, what I'm saying is rooted in fact, not opinion. So to me, if I'm the Suns owner, like Stephen A. talked about, if I'm the owner or if I'm the GM, whatever it may be, you're not playing out there, bro. I need you to be ready for the Phoenix Suns. I need you to be active and ready for ring number 3. Not you, cruising to Paris. Once again, you've already won 2 gold medals, bro. Matter of fact, he might have been on 3. I'm sorry, KD might have 3 because he was on the 2008 team. He was there in 2012 and 2016. So you won 3 times, brother. You won 3 times. Just like Melo. What do you need a 4th for? You don't need a 4th.
Because
he don't need a 4th. To me, honestly, let me just make the real argument. The real argument is that I'm just mad that JB is not on the team. That's what it really is.
It's not anti-KD. I get it.
It's not anti-KD hate. I'm not anti-KD. I'm just saying there's no way this is supposed to be the summer.
The Finals MVP isn't on.
Yeah, like the
Team USA. It is kind of
stupid. It's like come on. Like this was supposed to be the summer of JB, and it hasn't been. Not that it hasn't been. Like they didn't let their good times keep rolling. You win the ECF MVP, you win the Finals MVP. The trifecta was supposed to be the gold medal. Like that was supposed to be the trifecta, and then you and Tatum come in there, and then you cement yourself as the best duo in basketball. Like
that would have been nice.
That'd have been the perfect. But once again, it might be politics. It may be certain narratives that are being pushed out there. Once again, those executives told Stephen A. that for a reason, right? They wanted that to get out there, and it did. So they gave permission for him to put that out there. So I just think it's whack, honestly. So once again, now that I know context, because sometimes I think we overreact in the moment, because I definitely did. I was like, damn, I said, damn, he don't seem like a hater like that. Like there's no way he's mad at D White. But now knowing that there could be hidden beef, with Nike, that makes sense. Even though he was wearing Nike throughout the year at times. So I'm just like, what are we like? What are we getting at? I don't know. Like he was wearing the Kobe's. He wore.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't understand it now. I know his favorite player ever is T Mac, so I know every now and then he would rock Adidas shirts too. But I'm just like, I don't know. I just to me, I think they were mad that he called them out, and they couldn't handle it. So it is what it is. But we can get into what we think is going to happen out there. What do you think they end up doing in the end?
I mean, they're gonna win the medal. I just like looking at the starting fives that are possible with the team. Like you could have Embiid, Tatum, Edwards, Durant, and Curry all out there at the same time. I just love looking at the actual roster. Have you looked up and down this roster and really analyze it? It's
Not just entirely.
so
I know.
good,
So
man.
who I know off the top of my head is Tatum, Bam, Braun, AD, Halliburton, Curry,
Drew is on there.
yeah, KD, Booker, yeah, and Drew. That's all I know off the top of my head. I don't know who else I mixed up, but
That's about everyone.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just they're obviously going to win gold, so we don't have to talk about it too much. But it's just it's when you look at this roster,
Could France beat them though? With Gobert and Wemby?
or Canada. Canada's pretty good too.
Yeah,
Canada's
yes. I mean,
SGA.
it's really good. Obviously, I don't think Wiggins is playing up there. They're not letting him play up there, but that's that. But I think that they do have a squad for sure. But like, France was in the gold medal game against them a few years back as well. And
No, the answer is no.
yeah, Wemby wasn't on there. I think it makes it more intriguing, obviously, with him out there. I seen a video of him earlier, like just, I mean, he literally he caught a shot in midair and then just went up and dunked it. I was just like, bro, it was like, what the fuck? Like, it's wild. Excuse me, it's wild. Like he's every bit of what they said he could be. It just sucks that we can't see him in summer league because he obviously became way too good right away. So there was no way we were going to see him during summer league. But yeah, no, they should be in the gold medal game though. Like to me, they'll beat Canada. Spain is always someone that, especially in our last 20 years, Spain has been a team to look out for. Obviously, the Gasol brothers no
They
longer
don't have the Gasols anymore, though. Yeah,
or Portland Trailblazers legend Rudy Fernandez.
yeah.
So what a time to be.
Guarshan plays for France. Did you
Oh,
know that?
the dancing bear. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Dancing Bear plays for
Dancing
France.
bear. Oh my god. No, so yeah, that's something. But but listen, yeah, they should bring home the gold. Like there's no reason that they shouldn't, once again, barring any major injury. I also think it's wild that Embiid is playing for USA. Like he should be
I
playing.
was thinking that, dude. Isn't he?
It's wild.
Doesn't he play for Africa?
He could have played for Cameroon. He could have played for
Cameroon, right?
he could play for. Actually, he could have played
For
for
Africa as a full continent. What the fuck? The whitest thing.
I love it.
The whitest thing
I
I've
love it.
ever
I love
said
it.
in my
I love
entire
it.
life.
He could have played. He could have played for France too,
That's right, France. That's where he's from.
because that would have been insane. You imagine Wemby, Gobert,
and Gobert. Oh my god.
that would have been insane. Like that would have been fun to see.
So France has the Twin Towers. That could be tough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're probably the biggest threat, like literally and figuratively. They're the biggest threat. So I think that they figure it out. So, but no, I'm excited for it.
Not Africa. You don't think Africa? If Africa had a team, bro.
I mean, once again, their best player has been out of the game for a minute, and that's would have been Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like But I mean, if we ever did a segment on like all time,
that's what I'm saying. All time, bro.
All time. But what's crazy? Hakeem played for USA too back in the day. He was on the Dream Team too.
Yeah.
Too back in the day. So it's just like I don't know.
They want to get that gold, bro. They want the gold medal.
Yeah, but once again, it's cool when it's like your first or your second. Once again, I just, to me, by the time you're going for your third potentially, which is dope, I just think that, hey, why not let somebody get in there? But I get it. If you're KD, you want one more chance of knowing what it feels like to win something, because as good as that Phoenix team can be when healthy,
We got the ring.
they're not. The world championship resides back here, in the world of Red Outback, right where it belongs. So for the real BK, Bob Kelly, I'm Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. Until next time, we'll see you. Peace.